Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has unveiled a developmental plan for agriculture in Guyana for 2024, pointing to consolidation and expansion on gains made over the last 3 years. Minister Mustafa and team from the Ministry of Agriculture were in Region 2 over the weekend, meeting with residents and farmers at Dartmouth, Queenstown and Good Hope Saturday, and Charity and in the Lower Pomeroon Sunday, sharing with them government's plans for their communities as catered for in the 2024 national budget, which was passed in the National Assembly Friday last. The Agriculture Minister told those present at the meetings that the passage of the historic $1.126 trillion budget will see billions being invested in development of the country's infrastructure. These interventions, he said, will positively impact the lives of citizens and the agriculture sector.
Last night we had the passage of the largest budget in the history of our country, $1.146 trillion. And in that budget, there are a number of programs that will be undertaken by central government and by the regional government, the RDC, to enhance your livelihood, enhance your infrastructure. Now, you will find this year, there are a number of projects for the Essequibo Coast. And what we have done, we have allocated a large percentage of money to do infrastructural development because we want to modernize our country. What we are doing across this country now, we are doing thousands of community roads. Where there were mud dams, where there were fair-weather roads, crusher run roads, we are upgrading those roads now to concrete roads. We are building it. For example, in Queenstown, you have 27 roads. We have already built 20 of those 27 roads. So as a government, we are setting targets and we are working around the clock to ensure that we achieve those targets. When we went to the electorate in 2020, we made certain commitments. We said that if you elect us into office, we will do the following. One was, for example, in the education sector, we said we will give 20,000 scholarships within the 5 years from 2020 to 2025. Less than 3 years, just 3 years, we have delivered 21,000 scholarships to Guyana. Just over 3 years, or 3 years. We said we'll double old age pension. We are on track to double old age pension next year to make it over $40,000 when we started in 2020. Was $20,000. You all remember that? We said we will reintroduce the cash grant for school children. That comment probably get a different manifesto. He read. We said we will restart the cash grant and increase it because the former government would have stopped it. We didn't only restarted it. Remember, the last year in government for us was $10,000, and the former government stopped it and said they didn't have money to continue the program. We said we will restart it and increase it. This year, every child will receive $40,000 going to school, plus $5,000 as voucher, school uniform voucher. So every child will receive $45,000. And I can go on and on with this. For the first time, if I can recall well, for the first time, less than or just over 3 years, we have completed almost all the commitments we have made to the people of this country in our manifesto that we went through. So we are doing new things now. And as a country, we want to modernize our country. We want to move our country further up. And as the President rightly said, that this period, 2020 to 2030, will be the period of the heavy lifting, where we will prepare our economy, where we will prepare our country for 2030 and beyond, where opportunities for every sector and every strata in society will be made available.
At another meeting, and speaking directly to those that are tasked with the clearing and maintenance of critical drainage and irrigation channels along the Region 2 coast, Minister Mustafa said that there has been some dissatisfaction with the quality of work being put out by some of the contractors. This, he said, will not be condoned any longer.
Still, there are a number of canals that people, I'm not saying everybody, at least I understand 87 of those 471 canals are not clean. Vegetation, you have to now use machine to clean it. So what I have decided yesterday, we will clean those canals and retender it, and those persons who are awarded those canals will not be considered to get those canals again. Right? Because you got to be fair if you sign that contract. You can't complain when you don't sign it, say the rate low and you not clean it, and you want to draw the low rate. All of us got to be, and let me tell you something, when you read this thing here, you've got to implement it. For example, you clean the canal, you clean all vegetation in the canal, but at the same time, the side slope, you have to do 3 feet both sides of the side slope. We are not looking at that. Y'all read this thing when you sign it, right? 3 feet, completion of work to be done by the 15 days, etc. of the month. Failure to submit claims in time will result in non-payment. Contracts will be terminated if breaches. Checking of trench will be done from the 15th to the 20th of every month. At least 6 feet of dam on both sides of the trench must be weeded to be to ground level. And all vegetation and grass weeded from the trench must be placed in the area of the dam above the clear area. No chemical are to be utilized for spraying trenches, which would lead to termination of contracted practice. So these are the clauses. We are not going making it hard and fast that you have to do every single thing. We want the waterway, we want the canal, the vegetation, all the vegetation to come out the canal and place on the side slope above the side slope. But we are not getting that. And we're getting serious problems. We have a lot of acquisition that people are not cleaning canal and they are being paid to clean the canal. I met yesterday with the 18 rangers that they had here yesterday. They have in Region 2, and I told them in no uncertain term that if they collude with anyone, we will take disciplinary action. But what we will also do, we'll boost up that team with another 18 persons to do checks. Right? And as I said, I can't imagine how y'all arrive at different rates to clean canal in this region. In all the other regions, Region 3, Region 6, my MMA, Region 5, the rates are standard. So I don't know how, I was asking the RA, she said she don't know. Asking the chair, she said she don't know how. So that was long, I don't know how that happened. But what I will do, I am trying to increase the lowest rate. Last year I increased it from $45 to $55. This year I will try to increase it to $65.
While in Essequibo, the Agriculture Minister handed over the keys for a new 15-seater bus to the Guyana School of Agriculture in Anna Regina. This was done in keeping with a commitment made by His Excellency President Dr. Irfan Ali during an outreach to the region late last year. On Sunday, Minister Mustafa held meetings at Charity and in the Lower Pomeroon, where he spoke of the work being done to ensure that the problem faced by farmers in relation to flooding are resolved.
What this government is doing now, no other government ever done to the farmers of this country. You see people all across this country, benefit from the intervention that we have seen, all across. Let me tell you all something, and we are not looking at face or affiliation and religion or what. We want development to take place equally. The Pomeroon is a very important area for us. The Pomeroon used to be a very productive area, and we want to bring back the Pomeroon to that level where the Pomeroon will once again be one of the most productive areas in our country. That is why we are expending so much money. Over the last 3 years, a lot of money Billions of dollars have been expended or are in the process of works are being executed to do a lot of work for farmers. We are doing bed and drain. Bed and drain for the first phase, 547 farmers will benefit. From 5 acres or less, who has less than 5 acres, 200 rods of work. When we finish that phase, we will go to the next phase, where we go with larger plots, so that we can develop the larger plots of land. Now, over the years, and I don't know, I think Pomeroon would have received, as I'm speaking now, we are giving some fertilizers to farmers, both cash crop farmers and rice farmers. I hope that the NARI target you all and you all receive that fertilizer. Late last year, the government made $850 million available so that we can give fertilizers to the farmers. Planting material, I asked NARI, especially places in the Pomeroon, to provide planting material free of cost to the farmers in this community, so that you can get your planting material. What we are doing, we are building the capacity, we're building the nursery. Our nurseries can't cater for all the needs. And what we are doing now, we are building the nursery, expanding the nursery, but at the same time, before this year is out, we will build a tissue culture lab where we will produce millions of planting material, plantlets, different types of plantlets, things even citrus, even, you name it, and we will give all those free of cost to the farmer. We'll try and make it available because we want the Pomeroon and we want these areas to develop. Now we are in discussion with ICA and we'll bring into Guyana coffee and cocoa. We'll bring the germplasm from Costa Rica before the end of this month. It's coming to Guyana. When we finish with that, we'll develop planting material for the farmers in the Pomeroon. And we will resuscitate the coffee industry and the cocoa industry in the Pomeroon to produce cocoa and coffee again, a permanent crop. I just made a disclosure at a meeting there to select 100 farmers in the Pomeroon, and we'll give them coconut to develop 100 acres of new variety of coconut that we bring in from Brazil. So I hope that you all get the selection done accordingly, and who deserve it, let's select it.
Earlier, the minister had toured the Cutter Dredge, currently engaged in a nearly $600 million project to dredge the mouth of the Pomeroon River, which, when completed, will result in better drainage of lands within the Pomeroon. While on the vessel, Minister Mustafa was briefed on the progress of the project so far and assured that already the works completed thus far are having a positive impact on the lives of farmers within the Pomeroon.